Very long day of StarCraft. Long day overall. Let's watch some PvT in the main event. ShoWTimE versus Spirit. We had a 3-2, a 3-2, a 3-1. So I hope this is not a 3-0. But even if it is a 3-0, I feel like we already had a pretty awesome day of games. And obviously another victory for BASILISK and WTL Code S. Our journey will continue next Friday. So I guess I have another double shift next Friday. But it's going to be okay. Let's get it on, guys. PvT, new map pool, new patch. I'm very curious to see how things look between these two.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight!
In the top right side, we are looking in the main base of our Polish Terran. He loves the Big Brain Bouts. He keeps on asking me every single time I see him, Roddy, when is it my turn again? Well, tonight is your turn, mate. Representing Storm Gaming, it's Spirit. And I DM'd him earlier this week, and I said, Spirit, you want to play? He said, yeah, of course, give me max packs. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, Spirit. I'm not going to give you max packs, because I see that pretty often on the Monday night. And I don't think that is the greatest main event I can make right now. But obviously, stylistically, this man is a very different opponent. Not that he's a whole lot worse than max packs, because I think this man is amazing. But I think maybe stylistically, it will go a little bit better for Spirit. Still better than Ashbringer Wanting Clem. Or the new unknown prodigy of Wayne that wants to play Trigger. We've had a couple of things happening in our Discord this week, guys, where people apply to play in the Big Brain Bouts. And I had a man who peaked at 4400 MMR. And he said, Roddy, I want to play Trigger in the Big Brain Bouts. And I'm like, no. No, that is absolutely not happening. But yeah, we'll see if we can find something for him eventually. In the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of our German Protoss. It is ShoWTimE. I love confidence, guys, but yeah, when Ashbringer wants to challenge Clem in the Big Brain Bouts, or a man that has never made it into GM wants to play Trigger, I'm like, yeah, that might be a little too much confidence. Why let him play over others, though? Because I love passion, I love motivation, I love people who play a lot and apparently are very eager to prove themselves. I think that attitude is good, but obviously we're going to find a good opponent for him. He sent me a couple of replays. I had a very busy week, so I didn't manage to take a look at them yet. But if I go over those replays, then I can see who I think is a good opponent for him. Might be you, Wingend, who knows? I like people who come in with a bit of a story. Anyway, we had a whole bunch of stuff happen here already in the early game between these two in this single best of 5, where there is $150 on the line for the winner, $50 for the loser. Spirit went eBay block into a bunker at the 3rd. ShoWTimE says, alright, you want to eBay block me? I'm going to proxy something on the other side of the map. Maybe we can blindfold Trigger. Yeah, maybe if we handicap Trigger the way that Big Gabe gets handicapped at show matches at Homestory Cup. Whether it's playing with mittens on or playing without his glasses. You know, maybe Trigger without his glasses could be a fun series, but that man is not going to play Trigger when Trigger plays normal. That is not what we do on the Friday night. Is this a replay? No, I never do replays. Everything is always live on my channel. The only time there is ever a replay is if nobody knows the outcome of the series. And it was just played in advance, like WTL one day in advance, and they keep the results hidden. Basically, I never cast games that anybody can know the outcome of other than the players. It's a question that does happen quite often, but... We have a Twilight Council going down on the side of ShoWTimE. Obviously, a Reaper in a bunker is annoying, but with 3 Stalkers, ShoWTimE is going to be perfectly fine here. Reaper hops into the main base. There is a shield battery here. Now, Trigger does need to understand that obviously this was all a bit of an investment, right? The eBay, the bunker, repairing it. Has 1 bunker. Does not have tanks. Could be in a bit of trouble here, guys. I said stylistically I thought this could go a bit better for Spirit, but Max Packs often gets the best of him with 4-gate Blink Stalker. ShoWTimE does not have 4 gateways, but still has a decent amount of Stalkers that are going to try to make something happen on the other side of the map. Seb says this is really bad for ShoWTimE. I mean, I guess if we just expand... Yeah, okay. I don't think it looks really bad. I think there is plenty to play for, but yeah, I kind of thought he was going to be able to get something done with the proxy gate. Maybe not feeling that 2 gateways is enough production to really make Spirit sweat. I've tried M-canning, guys. Obviously, I mean, I love M-canning. Who doesn't? I think anybody that's been around for a long time loves the can man. And I've asked him a couple times, but it never worked out. But I can always try again next week. There's a good chance that M-canning is in decent shape as well, because he does quite often qualify for the American regionals in the past DreamHack Masters America. Obviously, if I ask Juggernaut Jason, I ask so, I would obviously love to see M-canning play too. Does No Regret still play? Maybe once in a while, a couple games, but I don't think he has played a whole lot lately. ShoWTimE is just keeping an eye on everything that Spirit is doing. Spirit, with his build, does have access to a lot of bio units early on and has a decent amount of Marauders already. He's definitely not in any danger of dying here. Now it all comes down to when do we want to stim forward. This SCV got picked off, guys, and that actually supply blocked Spirit for a little while. Spirit, I think, was waiting for that depot to finish up. Now we're gonna stim forward. ShoWTimE is very quick to blink back. Is actually running towards his gate, so I think that's a little bit sad. Unless Spirit already knew about it, but I don't think Spirit necessarily knew about it. Are these guys like 7k? Both players have been 7k in the past, yes. ShoWTimE has been 7,000 MMR, even quite a bit higher. I think maybe 7.2 once upon a time. And Spirit has also been 7k. Right now they may not be. That all really depends how MMR fluctuates and like what MMR a guy like Hero Marine is streaming on. Because no matter how good you are, unless you beat Gabe all the time, if you play against Gabe a whole bunch of times when he's 6'3", or Max Packs when he's 6'3" or 6'4", yeah, obviously almost no one can be 7k besides maybe Clem and Saro and Rainer. But both of these guys have been over 7,000 MMR in the past, yes. What MMR is Saro? I think Saro peaked at 7,456. Ooh, this could really hurt, by the way, on the side of Spirit. But actually, it's going to hurt on the side of ShoWTimE, because Spirit was very quick to unload those units. And sure, a medevac died. Make this Observer. Also, yeah, exactly what Senji says. Like, these are players that played in the biggest tournaments of the year. They played at IEM Katowice. They played at Gamers 8. At that point, I don't think we really need to worry about what MMR they are at. They're playing in the 2 biggest tournaments of the year, where only the finest players are able to even qualify. This is going to be annoying, because I don't think we have too many observers, and the 2 observers that we do have are out and about on the map. These Widow Mines, guys, are permanently cloaked Widow Mines. Very frustrating to deal with. Big army here. Colossus needs to be saved, and the Colossus is saved. Excellent force fields on the side of ShoWTimE. Yeah, exactly. I think there are maybe a select few players that have like peaked at 6'6", and that really is kind of their peak. But when it comes to the dudes that play in the biggest tournaments out there, 6'8", 7, 7'1", it doesn't really change all that much. Yeah, Spirit is looking good here in game 1, guys. He's able to play the kind of game that he likes to play. He's making life hard and uncomfortable for ShoWTimE. One more Widow Mine. This is an oversaturated main base, by the way, so if that Widow Mine would have gone undetected, it would have truly hurt. Quick transition into Ghost 2. ShoWTimE is going to be able to clean it up. Surprised to see ShoWTimE still have so many probes in his main, but I guess this is just a difficult map to go up to 4 bases. Hallucinations do activate Widow Mines, yes. That is one way you can sometimes make the Widow Mine your best friend. Good job there by ShoWTimE, splitting up one low HP Zello to absorb that Widow Mine shot to the face. But ShoWTimE is down 5 workers though, guys. This kind of feels like he's been stuck for a little while. Seems like this is a difficult map to secure 4 bases. I think Spirit has taken advantage of that. Spirit is actually dropping the CC on location. That screams confidence on the side of the Terran. Only +2 is currently being researched, even though we have double eBay on the side of Spirit. But he's building a lot of expensive units right now. A couple Ghosts at a time, a few Vikings at a time. Going up to 4 bases. And Obviously, attack is more important than armor, but it's nice to still get armor, and he's getting it right now. ShoWTimE on 8 gate, 1 robo. It's not the most impressive production for 10-minute macro games. But yeah, if you're only on 3 bases, that's pretty much all you can afford. Nice EMP there on the observer, that's going to reveal it. ShoWTimE does sneak a War Prism into the back of the natural Spirit, but yeah, Spirit once more very quick to react. Pew pew, couple of Zealots are gonna get sniped. War Prism will get recalled. ShoWTimE using hallucinated probes, maybe to activate a couple of those Widow Mines, so just get a good idea of where the army of Spirit is at. Spirit is spreading himself very thin, but perhaps that's the right way to play against Demauer, as a Nova does go forward. These two are definitely battling so far as well. What did the predictions settle for in the end, guys? So I know with what storyline to go for. I guess a few more people voted for ShoWTimE over Spirit. Or are people on the Terran Imba hype train, and did you guys vote for Spirit as the favorite? What was the final? 55-45 ShoWTimE, yeah. I think that's very reasonable. That is very reasonable. But Twitch chat is 0-7 in the Big Brain Bouts. Will it be 0-8 today? Does this best of 5 belong to Spirit? We're about to find out. Very nice micro on the side of Spirit, who's just done such a good job in attacking up, transitioning, increasing the quality of his army with 7 ghosts already this early. Of course, 1 or 2 good Purification Novas is all it takes for ShoWTimE to be not just back in this game, but potentially be winning it. EMPs do land. Spirit thought about pulling a little cuckoo there. Can't really go all the way. You just voted against chat. Disruptors on cooldown, guys, and they have no shields because they already got EMP. The Zealots do take a decent fight here. Oh, ShoWTimE has a lot of units still on the bottom side of the map. How quickly can they make it over? Chaotic fight could favor the Protoss. Seems like it's favoring the Protoss so far. Good job by Demauer. Truly living up to his name of the Wall. Not easy to survive all that Terran aggression. But it is kind of crazy to see how easy it is for Spirit to just drop bases on location. Could be maybe ShoWTimE not that familiar with the map, and maybe not that confident in going for certain Zealot run-bys. Very derpy fight in the center of the map here near the Zelnaga Watchtower. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. I think we have a couple of Widow Mine drops. Again, very frustrating stuff to deal with. War Prism is going to try to sneak into the main base one more time. Spirit is supply blocked, waiting maybe for the CC to finish up. A lot of units being unloaded on top of the Nexus, so ShoWTimE will stay a 4-base Protoss a little while longer. And because this map is so large, it feels like it's pretty hard for the Disruptor to shine. Disruptors really benefit of like small maps where you're always in range of the Terran army, and you can basically just poke and prod, as Loco would say, and fire Nova after Nova. This doesn't feel like a very sweet Disruptor map. Now, I don't know what I would prefer, and obviously Disruptors will still be good. This can get so gnarly, by the way. Spirit is just getting on top of this base. Lands an EMP, no recall. There might be battery overcharge. Nope, that pylon gets picked up as well. There are 2 fights happening right now on the top left side. Spirit's going to pick up all his units. Here he's going to run into Disruptors. Snipes a couple. Nice splits, man. Excellent. I really thought he was going to lose everything very quickly there, but a lot of units survived for quite some time. In the end, ShoWTimE still gets a pretty decent fight, but the Vikings kill that final Colossus. And now a few of these units potentially even make it into the main base. There are still Widow Mines getting shots off left and right. It's pretty impressive how Spirit handled that, because I thought he was going to lose everything very quickly there. In the end, he didn't get the Nexus, but he gets 9 probes. And gets a lot of the tech units. ShoWTimE's army is just not that great, eh? Like, the supply, it looks very close, but if you're sitting on 20 Zealots and there are still Widow Mines everywhere that are just not being revealed, I don't think that this Protoss army is really cutting it here on LC1. Barely any anti-air, so 2 more Vikings all by themselves will very casually kill a Colossus, and this army of Spirit is feisty, is powerful. We don't have that medevac upgrade, by the way. I feel like I saw it a few times the very first day, and I haven't seen it ever since. Spirit is just chilling. Dropping a 4th on location, dropping a 5th on location, and completely getting away with it. This is a very high level TVP by Spirit. I gotta say, I'm very impressed. He's playing slightly better than I expected him to play here. This is going to unload a couple of those leftover units. This is going to be hard. These Marauders will not get the job done by themselves. It feels that he is pretty close to getting it done. Still needs to respect the army of ShoWTimE because of the 6 Disruptors. But besides the 6 Disruptors, I don't think there is all that much to worry about. Seems that the War Prism did sneak into the main base, but got picked off, and the Zealots are attacking and mined out the refinery. That's not very impactful. Never mind. War Prism did not get picked off. It's now on the right side. This is nice for ShoWTimE, but Spirit has the entire top left, and I think ShoWTimE knows about it. Now Liberator's going to siege up as well. EMP's landing on the Stalkers. Can we get those Purification Novas that ShoWTimE needs to turn this game into something? So far, not a single Nova is connecting. Very, very good job once more on the side of Spirit, who's still maxed out, guys. Has a couple of medevacs chilling in the bottom right, but those are still empty. Those are the ones that unloaded those Marauders. Can Zealots and DTs turn the tide? Doesn't look like it. I like the idea of double expanding. ShoWTimE knows that he really needs to start getting his hands on a proper economy. Has now 5 Liberators very casually gone down a War Prison. PT does blink to the low ground, is going to be annoying, but there's a missile turret here as well. What is up with the double sensor tower, by the way? I see this so often. And pretty much always we are creating an NFL end zone. They're like perfectly aligned right next to each other. Oh, okay. Those were the Novas that we were waiting for. And I was looking for a while. I didn't really see the beginning of that engagement. I was taking a look at the double sensor tower setup. But we saw the end. Big explosions. Spirit can afford it though. Spirit is trying to piss you off. An exclamation mark perfect in the chat, guys. ShoWTimE's base in the bottom right side is in a serious amount of trouble as the Liberator count is high, and I think we're going to get some justice that rains from above. And these probes are also kind of revealing the fact that we're going to go to the gold. ShoWTimE is not going to try to piss me off, and he takes out not 1 but 2 sensor towers. My man Fonka would be in shambles talking about how expensive sensor towers are. They say never base trade a Terran, but they also tell you to never base trade a Protoss that has a bunch of DTs in Shadow Strike. No, the DTs are gone, but the Darksman is still there. That's a whole bunch of goals that get caught on the low ground. Can ShoWTimE make his way into the main base? This is going to be a very painful shot, but he probably feels that he kind of has to. Does take out the lips, but he's losing so many Stalkers. The Marauders on the high ground, guys, getting a bunch of very sweet shots off. Raising the depots there is a lovely move by Spirit. And Spirit is just so damn rich. ShoWTimE is trying. What a first game here, guys, in the main event. How good have the big brain bouts been lately? As we have another Nova, but that one does not go off. ShoWTimE is forced to run through these circles, eating every single EMP to the face. And that is simply not something you can really do. After 18 minutes, game 1 belongs to Spirit. He takes the 1-0 lead. Seems like a very difficult map for our Protoss player to get up to 4 bases. ShoWTimE clearly tried, but he was hard stuck. As I see a very lovely raid, by the way, from my friends of Back to Warcraft. I know we're getting close to your event, guys. When is it again? When is Lala Land? No, Rara Land. When is Rara Land happening, guys? I hope to see you at Rara Land too. November 17 to 19. Yeah, I think I'm free. I don't know about anything that's happening that weekend, so I will do my absolute best to stop by for at least one day. I'd love to hang out with the Warcraft folks, watch a couple of amazing games, and shake some hands. I will do my best. No promises, but I will do my best. And for everyone that's only watching my stream and is only following StarCraft, and I have no idea what I'm talking about right now, the lovely folks over at Back to Warcraft are organizing a big Warcraft 3 offline event in Dortmund. I mean, great city, guys. Greatest hometown of the greatest German football team out there. And that is happening on the 17th to the 19th of November. And I will do my best to stop by. A Moon qualified calf. I mean, that's not very surprising, is it? I know that man still has it. H has slowed everybody down besides Moon. In memory of our orc brother in the past, Roddy. I'm still an orc brother, mate. Just because I am playing with the aliens right now and I'm loving StarCraft, that doesn't mean I don't still have a whole bunch of love for Warcraft 3. And as I said, I will do my best to stop by. Warcraft 3 love never truly goes away. I often say it's the second greatest video game ever made. I'm sorry guys, don't hate me. They're both amazing, okay? Don't make me choose. Don't make me choose between the wife that I married and my first love that I never got over. It's too much.
Round 2. Fight!
Feyenoord owns Ajax? Absolutely, mate. People in the past used to come into my channel and try to troll me where they say Ajax greater than Feyenoord. And I just sat there and I'm like, well, I hate to admit it, but yeah, I know. We suck. We have sucked for a long time, but those days are gone. Feyenoord is amazing. Ajax sucks. Being a football fan has never been more fun for me. Anyway, main event. $150 on the line for the winner. $50 for the loser. In the bottom right side of Golden Aura. This is a Protoss map according to Rainer. Do we trust Rainer's opinion on Protoss maps, guys? That I don't know, but this is the man that's representing Berlin. International Gaming. Down 0-1. ShoWTimE. In the top left side, we are looking at the main base of our Polish Terran representing Storm. It is a Spirit. Honestly, sick game by Spirit in game 1. Now, I do really wonder how his game would have gone if ShoWTimE, instead of having 2-gate Blinkstalker, would have gone 4-gate Blinkstalker, because I felt that I saw a similar setup of Spirit against Max Specs, and then he just couldn't hold, and it was a bit sad. But yeah, against the 2-gate, it worked out like a charm. Reddit doesn't trust Rainer. I heard a little bit about that. People on Reddit can get so hung up over very weird and tiny things. Or like, he lied! I was like, what is more likely? That he just said something wrong, made a minor mistake, or that the interviewer asked maybe the wrong question, or that Rainer really thought, let me go ahead and lie about my performance in the tournament that was broadcasted and everybody can look up. It's like, well, I think I know what I think is more likely, but yeah. You know, the two-time world champ, the man that has made it into the grand finals of the biggest tournament of the year 3 years in a row, truly needs to make up where he finished in a Korean tournament 6 years ago when he was a kid. Did you get into the fountain when Feyenoord won? Yes, actually. The last time that Feyenoord won... Well, actually, no, not the last time we won the league, because we won the league last year. And I had to cast on the final day. That was a little bit sad. But when we won the league in 2017, I did go into the fountain. And I also went into the fountain in 2002 when we won the UEFA Cup. Against Dortmund, actually. On my birthday. A very memorable birthday for me. The 8th of May, 2002. Roddy turned 15. And we won the UEFA Cup. I lost to Grubby, I lost to Zakar, but I never lost to Roddy with Human. Well, why don't you make your way over to Rara Land then, and maybe we can do a show match. Alright, what kind of an opening do we have here, guys? It is 1 gate fast expand with a Twilight, once more for ShoWTimE. 2nd gate has been warped in. Since we're getting a Sentry now, it seems like it's a very similar setup for D Mauer. Thank you so much to my man Air for giving 5 subbies. And I got 13 buckies of Air earlier tonight as well, guys. The PayPal works. Saying when went to work, Roddy was casting. I got home and Roddy is casting. What a chat. Yeah, but Roddy's also very happy to not be casting by the time that this is over. It was an awesome day. I'm always very happy to watch WTL and do the Big Brain Bouts. But yeah, towards the end, after 9 hours, it does kind of get to me. Maybe a 2v2 show match and you bring Grubby over. Grubby is big time, guys. One does not simply summon Grubby. You can summon a lot of people, but not Grubby. That's kind of like asking Loco to play in the Big Brain Bouts. Maybe that would be a great match, guys. Loco against Grubby. In StarCraft 2. Now, I'd love to see that. That'd be awesome. Anyway, we have a medevac with 2 Widow Mines flying towards the main base. Loco versus Pig. Nah, Pig is too good for that. But Blink is done, guys. I don't think this is going to do a whole lot. It's going to do very little even. Medevac dies. One Widowmine inside of it dies. What have we got in the natural? A Hellion and a Reaper. Does get more done than the Widowmine drop, but I mean, that's a really good start, guys, for the Mauer. Well, a bit sloppy by the way that Spirit flew that in. He saw the Stalkers. He said, I don't give a damn. I'm still going for it. That is not a good start as a Terran. Even if the work accounts are even right now, it's very hard to imagine that Spirit is happy with that. Because there is no second wave of harassment. There's no third wave of harassment. ShoWTimE is already up to 3 bases. Love to see Take versus Naruto. Could be close, but I think that Silvano played quite a bit more. I don't know. Dennis did talk to you guys at the Real Home Story Cup about how much StarCraft he had played. I don't know what MMR he picked at, but I feel that Naruto should be the favorite there, no? Problem is also that Big Brain Bouts happen at 5 AM for Pick. Oh, Pick doesn't mind. I've asked Pick 2 times and he has played 2 times. Pick played against Demu and Pick played against Cats. Pick actually likes it because he wakes up very early. So if I put him at the main event of the evening, it's basically just like very good early morning entertainment for him. Yeah. Perhaps it's hard for him to play his very best, but no. Piggy is down to play. Big's problem right now is that he's wildly out of practice. And he's been a busy boy. It is hard to still play a lot if you're trying to cover almost everything. Or in Pig's case, he obviously makes a lot of YouTube videos too. It is hard to get great practice in. But Pig is always pretty good. Definitely be a big favorite over Loco. Anyway, let's go ahead and focus a little bit on this push that Spirit is going for. That is a decent amount of bio. ShoWTimE's army may not look very promising, but ShoWTimE does have a whole bunch of Storm to work with. Uh-oh. Putting everything inside of a Warp Prism always scares me, guys. Because I have been hurt as a Protoss fan and as a Protoss lover. But obviously that could be the way to land a couple of very fat, juicy Storms too. Lovely Widowmine drop here by Spirit. I really like doing this stuff when your army is here as well. That is going to be a really good Widowmine shot. Oh no, the Warp Prism. Okay, whew. I had a heart attack. Oh, no, careful with your Prism. No, not like that. Demauer. I cannot believe it, guys. I thought it already happened. It didn't happen, and it does happen in the end. The Warp Prism with 4 High Templars inside of it gets picked off by just a couple of Marines. And now it all comes down to the final few Stalkers, but Spirit has a whole bunch of firepower here. Oh. Why do we have to put all 4 inside of the Prism, guys? Why do we have to put all 4 inside of the Prism? Why can't we just have 2 with our army and have 2 High Templars? I mean, that's just really sad. But this is why I like the Widowmine drop. Because the Widowmine drop creates chaos and makes you panic a little bit. And Warp Prism with 4 High Templars inside of it. Like, why don't we have 1 High Templar here, 1 High Templar here, and have the other 2 in the Prism? Then in case it goes wrong, okay, that's very painful, but at least you have some Storm. Putting 4 out of 4 HTs inside of the Warp Prism. Well, obviously, I understand he wanted to drop. There's never been a Protoss player in his entire life that wanted to lose a Prism with 4 High Templars inside of it, but I just think that is a bit too risky. I don't think you need to do that. I feel like it makes a whole lot more sense to put 2 inside of the Prism and 2 with your army. Because when they're part of your army, you can actually land good Storms too. Exactly. It's not like Spirit is sitting there with 7 Ghosts and they truly need to be in the Prism. This, I think, was a moment where you can put 2 inside of them as a flanking Storm that can be big, but having 1 or 2 High Templars on the ground just makes a lot more sense. Ay. But also some kudos to Spirit there, guys, because if Spirit doesn't time that Widowmine drop like that, that chaos doesn't take place, and then ShoWTimE obviously has much more time to really get his army in the right spot and land the Storms that he was dreaming of. So I wouldn't even say it's a complete unforced error, because it is kind of Spirit who's making life hard, but I still think that's not a moment where you should put all 4 inside of the Prism. Lesson learned, though. Lesson learned. That means it's already match point here in the main event, but we're gonna load into game 3. It is going to be played on the biggest map that we've seen in a while. According to Twitch chat, this map truly reminds them of Year Zero. And they like sharing that info with me over and over and over again. Round 3, main event.
Round 3. Fight.
Top left side of Equilibrium, we are looking at the main base of the man that's representing Berlin International Gaming. A minor favorite in the Twitch chat prediction game. But I can't even make fun of you guys because I thought he was a minor favorite as well. So far things are not working out. Can we turn things around? Berlin International Gaming's ShoWTimE. In the top right side, we are looking at the main base of our Polish Terran, who's playing a mighty fine best of 5 so far. The first Widowmine drop was a little bit sloppy, and I do think he was behind. But yeah, if we kill War Prisms with 4 High Templars inside of it, obviously we're gonna run away with it. StarCraft Gaming's very own Piotr Spirit. Can I please do a shout out to your best friend Daffy? Of course, mate. If that makes you happy, I can do that for you. Because you have such a great username. Hot Willy Pepper, guys. What could possibly go wrong when I am starting to interact with Hot Willy Pepper? Me too, Ian Blue. For me, that is one of the most exciting games of StarCraft 2 that was ever played. Because of the storyline. Like, the game itself was very good. Zero against Su. IEM Katowice 2019. But yeah, the storyline of Zero just being undefeated for that damn long. And obviously being the overwhelming favorite. Su, the man who never wins big tournaments, made that Year Zero game, I think, one of the most legendary games in the very rich history of StarCraft 2. That is also the game where all the bullying started to Roddy from the other casters. I've shared the story with you guys many times. In Control was responsible for that. They bullied me for years. They still do, actually. Every now and then, at events, they still make fun of me. For me just being very invested in that game. And apparently making very funny sounds. They were nowhere near as weird as Jeff made them out to be, but I know that Maynard will never forget that day. And Demu will never forget that day. Those nerds loved it. They were literally crying. Was that the time they gave your phone number to a dating site? No. That's also not the story. That's a completely different story. That is a story that basically took place at... I mean, I don't know if Basilisk would be very happy with me sharing that, but I will give you guys the PG version of it. The TLDR is that I had a public Snapchat where I would just accept everybody's Snapchat invites. I was like, oh, that's fun. Snapchat, new app. I uninstalled it many years ago. And then somebody thought it was funny to, I don't know, make a thread on, I think 4chan or any other forum on the internet. I don't know which one it was. Saying that I was a 20-year-old hot female from California. And I really wanted to see you know what. That happened overnight. Then I woke up. And we were doing rehearsals, and I was like, oh, let me go ahead and open Snapchat. And I saw a whole lot of sausages that morning on Snapchat. And In Control was standing next to me, and he was like, what? What are you? I was like, I don't know what's happening. And it was just sausage, and like Jeff was losing it. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. And I had no idea where this is coming from, but a lot of bratwurst was shown to me that day. And shortly after, I uninstalled Snapchat. That is the short version, yeah. I could have gone into greater detail, but yeah. Needless to say, my co-casters were enjoying that one. Anyway, back to the main event, guys, of the Big Brain Bouts. Game 3. To a triple gate. So ShoWTimE going for a bit of a middle down the road. It's not 4-gate Blinkstalker. It's not the 2-gate opening we saw in game 1. It's triple gate. Spirit, for the first time tonight, is going to give us Cyclones. Not just a couple Cyclones, but a lot of Cyclones. Feel like there should be a lot of potential here with the double Prism Micro, or the double Blink Micro rather. Obviously the Stalkers can blink back. And there's a War Prism that could potentially pick up Stalkers as well. So you can technically break the lock-on over and over and over and over again. Let's see. I haven't seen too many of these fights play out like this on this level. I know I've done a couple of them myself. They didn't go very well for me, but that's most of the time because I made bad blinks. I'm gonna trust ShoWTimE not to make too many bad blinks. It's hard. The cyclones are just so cheap. You can build so many of them. There are 5 cyclones being built at any given moment right now. In favor of Spirit. We already have 11. Imagine, a couple months ago, I would have told you guys that 6 minutes into a Spirit against ShoWTimE game, the Spirit would have 15 cyclones. You guys would have laughed at me and say, Roddy, that sounds more ridiculous than your Snapchat story. Now it's happening. Just like Zardian, by the way, the 5.3k Terran that we saw in the very beginning of the night, Spirit is going for a very quick Ghost Academy. I think that's actually very cool to see the overlap between a 5.3k Terran and one of the best Terrans in Europe later that day. And they do have the same idea of going for a very quick Ghost Academy to still get some value out of that initial barracks. This is going to be hard for ShoWTimE, man. Because he only has a 7 work elite. But we're building gateway units against Cyclones, Hellions with Blue Flame and Ghost. I don't like the idea of fighting with one Immortal here. Like, I know Immortals are good, but not when we go up against that many Cyclones, no? I don't like ShoWTimE bringing out this Immortal. I don't know how many games ShoWTimE has played against this Cyclone, but he thinks he can win this fight. Well, okay. Sort of goes well at first. There's a War Prism that can obviously still break the lock on. Pretty good Zardian cosplay. I mean, Zardian had a fun series with Eliton. Last week we had an absolutely amazing Big Brain Bouts. The very first one on the new map and the new patch. I think this one has been pretty damn good too, guys. I feel like we've had a lot of fireworks tonight. These Hellions have Blue Flame, by the way. Ay, ay, ay. And that is going to force ShoWTimE to Rico. It's only 6 workers for now. I thought it was going to be a bit worse than that. Obviously, that is going to give up a bit of our map control. War Prism on the top side of the map. I mentioned this earlier tonight, and I think that point stands that War Prisms used to be absolutely god tier against mech. I think right now there's less good, and for the second time we are going to lose a War Prism, this time around with only 1 Zealot inside of it, but the other Zealots will die too. Like, even if a Prism sneaks into the main base, if a Terran is spamming like 5, 6, 9 Cyclones at a time, there's almost never a moment where they can deal with that Prism. But Spirit is transitioning into a bunch of tanks and Hellions a little bit quicker, so at least this game will go on. Oh, that Prism in the previous game was a bit more painful winging, but double armory, 2 mech upgrades at a time. I still really like the few Ghosts. I know it's going to be hard to maybe keep them alive if you're going to commit to a fight to the other side of the map. I actually really wonder how this game would have gone if Spirit would have just kept on spamming 9 Cyclones at a time. I feel like he would have just won. But maybe that's where I am wrong and I don't have enough experience yet on this patch. I actually think with the start that he had, if he would have just kept on spamming Cyclones with a couple of Ghosts early on. Why are we losing probes? I think it would have been very hard for ShoWTimE to win this game. The more you have. Okay, we could get a little bit of a surround here. Stalkers could blink towards the bottom right, and that's exactly what happens. Now EMP does land on those Stalkers, and still a lot of them do get picked off. But at least 2 out of the 3 Ghosts died. All the Ghosts died. Pretty much all the Cyclones die. Ooh, what is these Hellions? A lot of probes are clumped up. Nice warp in surround, by the way. That is one way to keep your probes safe. So ShoWTimE cleans up all the Cyclones, and now maybe there's a moment that we can just YOLO it on top of these tanks. I don't know. It's a lot of tanks. Getting on top of the planetary is probably a better call. I don't know how this is going to go, guys. I'm a bit worried. I see a lot of tanks sieging up. I see, okay, we're going to go for that planetary. We really want that planetary. Now Zealots and Immortals are going to run into all these tanks. Stalkers blink forward. The tank line is pretty deep, though. ShoWTimE at least gets that command center, and that is what he wanted to get there. Lost a lot, but he got what he was looking for. I don't think you can look at this game and say mech is not a thing. When I think Spirit was in a pretty alright spot, but obviously lost all of his Cyclones there with a good surround by ShoWTimE. I don't think a single game like this is enough evidence to say that mech is not a thing. I've lost more games against Mac in this 1 week on the new patch than I did in the 5 months prior to it. This game looks obviously very promising for ShoWTimE after getting those goals, getting all those cyclones, and now getting that command center too. 5 zealots at a time being wiped in. These zealots are going to run straight into the meat grinder. That is really not going to be it. You know, the funny thing is, guys, that even though ShoWTimE is in a very good spot, as he kills this CC, if I was in his position, I would still have a hard time winning this. How many games did I lose against Mac in the old patch? Very, very few. Maybe 1 or 2 when I was absolutely derpy. But most of the time, I just got the job done. But I've lost a lot of games against Cyclones this week. And I've even mostly been casting. I haven't even played that much. Been a very busy casting boy, and on top of that there was a bit of traveling. But the few times that I managed to hop on the ladder, I've lost a lot of games against Cyclones. ShoWTimE is obviously in the driver's seat. I feel like he has all the freedom to do whatever the hell he wants to do. He even has the mega base, the gold minerals with the rich Vespian geyser. I wouldn't hate like 5 Stargates here with +1 air weapons, but seems that ShoWTimE's plan is more gateways. We're gonna go from 10 all the way up to 17 gates. 17 gates, double forge, double robo. What about 5 robos and a robo bay? That would be kind of sexy too, no? I feel like these fights are gonna go really bad for ShoWTimE. Not like a little bit bad, but really incredibly bad. Up to the point where we do need to ask ourselves, is this the right way to win? I think it's safe to say that that went really bad. What did he kill there? Almost nothing. He's gonna get at least 1 more robo. I think at this point we should go full classic. 5 robos in a robo bay. Like, that is just not something you can run into with gateway units. No matter how rich you are, no matter how good your upgrades may be, and they're not even that good yet. ShoWTimE never said it was about the money. As I said, he can afford that, but he needs to be a little bit careful. He's not going to try his luck in the natural. Zealots are going to get obliterated by Hellbats with Blue Flame. A whole bunch of Immortals are at least able to get 1 or 2 of the tanks, but keep an eye on this number for me, guys. ShoWTimE has now lost 2,600 resources more. Okay. So we're going to go mass Immortal? I guess that could be good, but we can also still lose with that. Like, there is a world where we just show up with 20 Immortals and we still lose. It's like, Immortals are great against tanks if the tanks are in low numbers, but if you siege up like 20 tanks, I feel like it doesn't really matter how many Immortals you have. You're still going to struggle. I wouldn't hate Tempest. I wouldn't even hate... Oh my goodness, this can be risky, guys. That EMP slaps, baby. And ShoWTimE's army is going to get absolutely obliterated here. Now, he did kill a couple of SCVs, and he is denying the mega base, and he gets the kill on the command center. Still, I guess with how rich we are, that's an okay trade. Let's go with a War Prism in the main. Yeah, but there's a bunch of turrets, and obviously Spirit is building a lot of Cyclones too. I mean, ShoWTimE should never lose this game, but in a weird way, I am worried. I don't think I should be worried. Every Terran will tell me that I'm an idiot for thinking that Spirit can win this game. I know, Juanito, you don't need to tell me. But I don't know. I feel like ShoWTimE is in danger of taking some absolutely atrocious fights. So far, it hasn't been that bad, though. I don't hate what he's doing. If you have 100 probes, it's okay to be reckless as long as you get command centers. As long as he keeps on denying bases, obviously, it is okay. Ooh, that is an awkward spot. It seems like we are going to try to warp in those 17 Zealots, by the way, into the main base. 11 Immortals have died. 33 Cyclones have died. Not a Speedy Prism, a Slow Prism. But Slow Prism is good enough to make it into the main base. Unfortunately for ShoWTimE, guys, he's suffering from success and he cannot warp in. He's going to go for it with all these Immortals and all these Zealots. And there isn't much of a buffer for these tanks. And the tanks were actually dealing a lot of friendly fire there too. I mean, Spirit holds, but did lose a lot. And now we do have that 17 Zealot warping in the main base that Chat was asking for. And yeah, a couple Zealots are not going to do a whole lot. But 19 gateways of Zealots, that's going to find some success. Spirit's micro is good though. ShoWTimE goes for another very big warp in. He's truly emptying that piggy bank. Mixture of Cyclones and Ghosts is doing their best to take care of it. Ghost Academy gets picked up. I guess that is nice. So every single Ghost that dies right now is not going to be rebuilt for a while. ShoWTimE is also behind the gold minerals. Very good stalker movement there. And I think Spirit is starting to run out of steam. He has unsieged a couple of those tanks. He's going to bring the tanks over. But it's gateway galore in the main base of Spirit. Tonight is a perfect night of the Big Brain Bouts, guys. Not a single 3-0. We had a 3-2, a 3-2, a 3-1. And at the very bare minimum, a 3-1 in the main event. GG gets called. ShoWTimE wins Game 3 against the Macarino of Spirit. I don't know. I felt that Mac looked good there from time to time. But obviously not good enough. ShoWTimE was very rich. I think it's the mega base, guys, that turned it into his favor. A 32-month resub by my man Game of Drones. Thank you so much. Game 4 coming up. I don't know what the last 2 maps are. Obviously, I don't know if we're going to go to our final map, but this was, yeah, it's been going on for a while. I think we're okay. Let me take a look at Twitch chat quickly, guys. Or at my dashboard, rather, to see how we're doing with the pre-rolls. I don't want to see you guys get ads in the middle of the game. I think we're going to go ahead and take a very tiny break, guys. For the last time today, I'm going to take a 2-minute break. I kind of need to do this. Otherwise, there's a chance you guys get ads like 15 minutes into Game 4. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Twitch get angry at me. So, very tiny break. And after that, I'll be back with Game 4 of ShoWTimE versus Spirit. The main event of the Big Brain Bouts, number 42. Brought to you by Basilisk. Needless to say. Seems that the players took a little break as well. I told them that they could just go, but it seems that they wanted a tiny break too. Game 4. BASILISK Big Brain Bouts, number 42, guys. 42 Fridays in a row. You guys have been able to watch some StarCraft 2. Well, not quite in a row. Obviously, we had a few hiccups here and there, but almost in a row. 42 Fridays in a row. 4 best of 5s, competitive StarCraft 2. And last week, we already made history with the predictions of Twitch chat being wrong 4 series in a row. Tonight I've been wrong 3 series in a row. You guys have voted for ShoWTimE. Are we really going to witness double history? Back-to-back weeks of Twitch chat going 0-4 in predictions. That'd be quite something.
Round 4. Fight!
In the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the man who's going to try to prevent that. Representing Berlin International Gaming, a minor favorite according to Twitch chat. It's ShoWTimE, the Mauer. In the top left side, we are looking at the main base of the man who has shown us a little bit of everything so far. It is the Polish Terran player trying to win another Big Brain Bouts main event, Storm Gaming's Spirit. Serious question and a large wall of text. Shout out to Non-Imba, by the way, mate, for the 63 months. I really appreciate it. Serious question, please consider it. I'll consider it, mate. How about we revert the Cyclone, but give Hellbats +1 armor? They've been severely nerfed in late game TVZ anyway. And the real problem of mech, especially classical mech, is Zealots, Swarm Hosts, and even Marines to a degree. Also, Hellbat pushes are very mediocre and are a sacrificial build for keeping the Zerg honest. If we give Hellbats +1 armor, this may fix all the issues. I don't know if it will fix all the issues if we give Hellbats 1 more armor. I don't know, mate. Maybe. That's a lot to consider. I don't know. I personally don't love the Hellbat all that much. So if there is one unit I don't really want to buff, it's the Hellbat. I think Hellbats are a bit clunky and silly. I don't know. I've been trying to stay away from any very bold statements about the patch and the balance, just because I want to play more StarCraft myself. I can obviously read changes. I have now seen a decent amount of games. At the highest level, I haven't really seen too many problems. Now, at the levels below, I know that that doesn't necessarily always translate to the exact same degree. On my own level, I've been struggling like no tomorrow with the Cyclone, but I also realize I make a lot of mistakes. So I just want to play more. I want to play more. I want to see more. And maybe in a couple months, mate, I'll be on board with the +1 armor Hellbat change, but I think it's a little early for that. We have a double adept opening on the side of ShoWTimE, as he is once more going to go for the Twilight. Maybe he just doesn't believe in Stargate openings at all against the current Cyclone, and can't really blame him for it. Or maybe he just loves Twilight. Can he get that SCV before the CC is done? Yeah, he's so close, but that is very sad, guys. That little 0.2 second difference there is quite big, because otherwise this CC is still not done. Then you can transform it into an orbital command, and obviously the Terran build is going to struggle a little bit. Now Spirit doesn't have to worry about losing another SCV. There is a single Widowmine here. We can get a funny fight. Is that Widowmine going to fire? No, it does not fire. I guess the Adept will still be able to get out of there. You saw Max Packs get rolled by one base Cyclone from Young today. I mean, I've seen Classic die in 3 minutes against Clem, but I've also seen a couple of Protoss openings that just don't work against the Cyclone. So yeah, then we're obviously going to see some one-sided games. I mean, I tried to play in the Kung Fu Cup for fun myself. I played against Gumio. I was like, alright, I'm gonna go for a build that can die against Cyclone. 4 minutes into the game, I was dead. Cyclone's got on top of my battery. I was like, alright. Tough one. Bitter pill to swallow, but obviously we all need to learn a little bit in the beginning. And I think it's obvious that the Cyclone is good against Protoss, but this obviously is a promising start for ShoWTimE, guys, as he's got perfect unit positioning. This all comes down to these Adepts being around for as long as they were. That's going to give him a very good idea of where this medevac would be at, and allows him to bring the Stalkers very far forward. For the first time in this best of 5, we're not going for 2 gates or 3 gates. We're going for the 4-gate Blink Stalker opening. Also sending out a probe. Could be some serious Stalker aggression here. I don't know how good this map is for this stuff, but against a triple mine opening, normally 4-gate Blink Stalker. In the hands of Max Packs, I would say this is game over. And ShoWTimE is also very good with the Blink Stalkers, but maybe not quite as good as Max Packs. But in theory, this should be very good for D-Mauer. War Prism making its way to the other side of the map. We still have the Zealots of the early game as well. Spirit is sending out the Raven, sending out the triple mine. How much can he really have at home? Are we going to game 5, guys? Will it be a close to perfect night? Okay, ShoWTimE is dropping an expand. Max Packs would never drop this expand, I think, against the build that he's gone up against. He would try to win it. He's going to blink forward. There is a tank siege up there, and there's a lot of Marines, to be honest. And obviously, if we're going for the middle down the road build, we're very vulnerable at home. Because he is spending money on the Nexus. That means he's going to have a few less Stalkers. Now there is triple mine. He's going to go for a recall. How bad will this triple mine drop be? Not too bad. Couple dead Stalkers. There's also an auto turret going down. Oh, Widowmine doesn't even kill a second Stalker. The Ravens in the main base, though. The Raven in the main base did a bit more there. ShoWTimE is now going to see it. That's not a good start for ShoWTimE now in the end. Well, I feel in theory, against a triple mine drop and a Raven, if you go all out 4-gate Blink Stalker aggression, I think you should be able to kill the Terran. Hot Willy Pepper gives the sub to Stream Elements. Alright. Out of all the people, mate, then I think it'd be better to give one to Pokemon. Maybe to get the notification and stops by one day. But okay, at least my bot is a sub now. Thank you, Willy. Charge on the way. First Colossus in production. Sentry being warped in as well. ShoWTimE knows that he's got a little bit of catching up to do. Now, obviously, there is always some potential with 2 groups of Blink Stalkers, but once Stim is done, you have to be so careful. We've already lost a War Prism or 2 in this series that we were not supposed to lose. So far, we are good. How's that Raven doing? That Raven is cornered by the 3 Stalkers that are defending the main, so that's obviously fine. Spirit is going to salvage his bunker, feels that he doesn't need it anymore. He's going to move out with a 5 Marauders, 19 Marines, 3 tanks. And we can't just ignore the fact that that Raven is still alive. Now, that Raven does not have the upgrade, so it can drop Interference Matrix, but anti-armor missile can still hurt. These 4 Stalkers in the main base can also hurt, guys. Spirit has absolutely nothing defending the main. It's been a long day for me, but I think it's been a long day for the boys as well. It feels that Spirit just wants to end it. In Dutch there is a saying, haastige spoed is zelden goed. I tried to write that in Twitch chat. Spirit does not believe in it though. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna boost the tanks forward. He's gonna siege the tanks up in a pretty good spot. But there is a shield battery here that can buy some time for ShoWTimE. We have a Guardian Shield. The Zealot charge is a thing. He's gonna send 1 or 2 Zealots forward. No, you don't want to send 1 Zealot at a time. Guys, Spirit is on 2 CCs, no 3rd CC, and he's down 10 workers. He's killing a few more probes in the main with that Raven, spamming more auto turrets. Oh, Marauder's getting range of the shield battery. That is a problem, guys. And Coco's second overcharge is not quite ready yet. Now the Robo gets on power too. Oh, this is going to be a tough fight for ShoWTimE. Does ShoWTimE have the right amount of Protoss units here? He's moving the Colossus very far forward. The Stalkers are blinking forward into the meat grinder. I have the feeling that Spirit is doing it. I think this Big Brain Bouts belongs to Size Storm Gaming's Spirit. ShoWTimE went for a little bit of everything there in Game 4 and in the end could not deal with the devastating push of Spirit, who's able to unload these tanks on the ramp, takes out the battery. Overcharge didn't really come into play. And that means that Spirit will be the winner of the Big Brain Bouts main event. We're getting 20 gifted subbies. Why so many? Big explosions. So many subs today, guys. Thank you so much to Basilisk for giving me all the subs and once more giving us, I think, an amazing night of StarCraft 2 games. The 4-hour show turned into a 5-hour show. Not a single 3-0. A 3-1, a 3-2, 3-2, 3-1, and a 3-1. Last week we didn't have a single 3-0 either, I believe, right? Don't think we had a single 3-0. And last week, Twitch chat went 0-4 in predictions. Tonight, Twitch chat went 0-4 in predictions. This did not happen, guys, in 41 weeks prior to the last 2 Big Brain Bouts. Seems like the new patch and the new map has made it a bit more difficult to predict things. Or I've just given you guys very difficult matches. Or we had a few upsets. Maybe a little bit of everything, who knows. But this one belongs to Spirit. 45% of the amount of points was wagered on Spirit. A few more people did predict Spirit, but yeah, the biggest bets were on ShoWTimE. And we always go with the total amount of points. Because obviously people like to pick the underdog and then they can make smaller bets. BK Rec, he went big. Ooh, Jumi! Jumi is the big spender. Jumi won the jackpot earlier by being the biggest batter on Nikic, but just like many nights in the casino, guys, people get a bit too carried away. They start winning. They think they're invincible. And in the end, you go home with nothing. Oh, Jumi. Painful. For Alchemist as well. Rough day at the office for him. Fun Big Brain Bouts again, guys. I think we watched a couple of awesome games. We can get over the results. We can go over the results one more time. We started the day with WTL Code S. We ended the day with another fun Big Brain Bouts. All the love and all the kudos to Basilisk, ! Basilisk in the chat. We'll link you guys to their socials. And that is where you guys can give them some love for putting up $500 every single Friday for these pro gamers to participate or compete for. And this event to participate in. We had Zardian making his debut. He won 3-2. Fun series. Fjont finally, guys, got a W on the Friday night in a very fun series against Foxer. Nikic just looked really good across the board against Trifax. Was maybe in a bit of trouble in Game 4, but he turned things around successfully. And last but not least, Spirit. I know he loves the Big Brain Bouts. Gets the job done in the main event against ShoWTimE. Thank you to Papizi for the $13 as well, saying best stream. I did my best, guys. It was a fun day. I am very tired. I am going to go ahead and end it here. Tomorrow there is obviously WTL Code S, but my brother's son, so my nephew Jax, is turning 5 on Monday, but they're celebrating it tomorrow, so full day of festivities, so I'm obviously going to have to attend that. I'm looking forward to hanging out with the little guy. So I don't know if I can do WTL Code S for you guys tomorrow, but no, there will not be a stream from Jax's birthday party. We're just going to have some fun. Cool. That is it. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy dinner because I am very hungry. Cauliflower with potatoes, in case you guys are interested. Who should I host? Twitch chat, feel free to shout at me. Who do we host?